Well, they got to start getting the ball in the hands of the people that have been scoring for him all year. Willie Davis has caught one ball, but he leads the NFL in average per catch coming into this ball game at 21 yards per catch. Got to get the ball in his hands somewhere downfield.
Defense rules. Arnsparger, Dave Adolph on the other side. The veteran Gil Byrd looks in from his cornerback spot. Backs off. Harvey Williams. And it was Henry Rolling, the free agent, bringing him down.
They've done a good job of putting this defense together, obviously, or they wouldn't be here. But you say Henry Rolling, a free agent. You know, there's some quality first-round picks, but they've filled in other positions. You know, Gary Plummer's been around here 7 years. Heck, he was a walk-on in college football, and here he is starting a playoff game as an inside linebacker.
Running Williams. Byrd is there to help out with Rolling.
Did you see how fast Rolling got there? You know, they were in a slot to the top of the field and running back here toward the tight end, and he just flashed. He knew exactly where they were going with that football.
He comes out now, and an additional defensive back, Donald Frank, trots onto the field. There's a veteran. He's been through some lean times and now some good times, and the young man who's helped bring it all together, Junior Seau. They press on the front, then rush 4, and closing in is Bert Grossman. Working off a stunt, Grossman was able to free up.
He didn't see him coming. He didn't have a chance to avoid him. He was looking left all the way. They had a stunt over to the left side that they picked up nicely. And Grossman just kept coming.
Chargers call timeout. Bobby Ross uses a timeout, knowing the Chiefs must punt. There have been 17 punt returns for touchdowns this season in the NFL. That's a record. Nate Lewis will be the return man this time. Barker. High coverage trying to get downfield from the 29. And Alley on the left side if he can get there, and he could not. As Tracy Rogers, the linebacker, clamped down after a 14-yard return.
By number 52, Tracy Rogers, 51 yards on the punt by Brian Parker.
2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes and 41 seconds.
You know, the Chargers run a lot of passing game with maximum protection, going with maybe only 2, maybe just 3 receivers out and keep everybody else in there. They might want to right now use some of that, because the last series, Brent, they were sacked, as you know, 2 times in that last series. Keep some more people in and see if you can't work those guys open with just 2 or 3 people.
Anthony Miller being shut out here in the first half. He's way out to the right toward the top of your screen, and Humphreys is looking out in that direction. Goes up on top, and he has got him at the 43-yard line. That's a 14-yard gain, but more importantly, it gets your lead receiver into the fray.
You called it up here. Jack Riley, the offensive coordinator who calls the plays, must have heard you make that call. Those are the people that make things happen. Anthony Miller, great speed, 7 touchdowns coming into the ball game. Number 1 in the NFL in total yards as a receiver, over 1,000. You got to get the ball in his hands.
Now Kevin Ross comes down, and Miller comes toward the bottom of your screen. Harmon has checked in, and he'll get a carry from scrimmage. Harmon across the 40-yard line, hit the 2-minute warning here in the first half. So the Chargers trying to give themselves at least a field goal opportunity in this scoreless duel. Steve Hendrickson for you, Dick.
Yeah, these guys from the Napa Valley are tough. Special team player, fullback, and the power I set, linebacker, 1 contact. This is the last punt. All right, 2 contact. Watch him, just watch him keep going. He's going to earn his paycheck in this game. He's looking for somebody else. Wham, wham, they had it, got him. Now he's going to go find someone, and here it comes. I'll teach you, he says. Those Valley guys are tough, man. I told you that all along.
Now Ronnie Harmon in the backfield. Look at the deep setup. They're going to run the draw with him when he set up that deep, and he found running room. So they haven't been throwing the ball to Harmon, but he's able to run successfully for a first down. That's a 10-yard burst.
Dave Richards, the offensive guard on the right there, he did a good job of posting the draw block right here. And you can see it to the left center of your screen. He did a good job.
Humphreys complete. And that's Harmon with his first reception and out of bounds here on the near side. Chargers with 2 timeouts, so plenty of time.
The big thing now, they're getting in field goal range too. They have a field goal kicker in John Carney that's really hot. You know, kick a record 16 straight. Don't do anything foolish. Don't turn it over. Don't take a sack. Score if you can, but don't take too many chances. 16 in a row. Never had a kicker kick 16 in a row. In practice, I don't think I ever had a guy kick 16 in a row.
Minute and a half. Humphreys. And he could not get away from Bayless. Martin Bayless, the former Charger, with the 4th sack by the Chiefs here in the first half.
Dave Adolph, linebacker and coordinator coach, does a good job of covering with a blitz. That's 2 blitzes involving safeties that have gotten to the quarterback. He should have gotten rid of the football.
Chargers use their 2nd timeout here in the first half. San Diego Chargers might be ahead in this game, except they turned it over. Marion Butts down on the 13 going in. Then on the last drive, 2 sacks took them out of field goal range. Now a sack leaves the Chargers in 3rd and 16 with the ball at the Chiefs' 36-yard line.
He just should have seen that safety blitz coming. You know, it was right out there in front of him. It was to his right side where he has good vision.
Humphreys throwing quickly to Harmon, and Harmon is wrapped up by Benny Thompson and taken out of bounds on the Chiefs sideline.
Pass complete to Ronnie Harmon.
Marty Schottenheimer said he was going to put Benny Thompson on Harmon. There's Harmon, number 33, coming out of the backfield. Bunch formation. See, tries to scrape off right there, but Thompson is waiting for him all the time. You know, Harmon's been good against these guys. You know, in the last couple of ball games, he caught 6 in one and 7 in the other. They were going to try to play him a little bit tighter today with Thompson.
Well, they're going to test Carney's streak right here.
.34. That's a 51-yard field goal. He's 1 for 3 from that distance. 50 long this year. Career long is 54. He's made 3 of 8 in his career from that distance.
Timeout, San Diego. 40 seconds of a scoreless tie here in the AFC wildcard playoff game. Earlier today, the Washington Redskins advanced, eliminating Minnesota 24-7. Bobby Ross with John Carney attempting a 52-yard field goal in a scoreless tie.
You know, the footing for the kicker here could be a little bit of a negative, too. I don't know how it is out there, but can't be perfect.
Punter John Kidd is the Chargers holder. High snap. He's able to get it down. Oh, he hits the crossbar. Woo! By inches.
See, you subtract those sack yards on that 1 second down pass attempt. There's a good field goal right there. Can't take the sack when you're in field goal range. Boy, the old cliche, a game of inches. This could bounce either way. Bonk.
Well, I can say that the San Diego Padres play their games here and the no-hitter remains intact. Scoreless tie, first half. Martin Bayless brought that safety blitz. Now it's the Chiefs trying to do something. Craig in trouble, throws incomplete.
Boy, I'll tell you, Leslie O'Neal that time came around John Alt Wow, was he flying. He like I had a rocket tied to his back. He really came around the corner. John Alt, the offensive left tackle, number 75. You see him there on the top of your screen. See him, number 76, rather, excuse me. See, he had his tail way up, and there he came and flushed him up inside. He's lucky there wasn't anybody else standing there.
Craig has missed his last 4 after hitting 6 of his first 7 passes. The inside handoff this time to McNair. And McNair run down by Seau coming from behind.
Ball carrier, Todd McNair. Will stop by number 27, Donald Craig.
This is their first timeout. This is a 40-second timeout.
So the Chiefs use their first timeout with 20 seconds to go. And coming up on the Lexus halftime report, we'll join John Saunders and Sam Weish in New York. They'll tell you all about Washington's victory over Minnesota. And then we'll hear from Dick Vermeil on the first half right here in San Diego, and Lynn Swan will check in. Rod Bernstein, the running back for the Chargers, was injured in the opening quarter and has not returned to action. There's the leading receiver, and perhaps they should put him out there on the field. Well, we can go back to 92. Denver at Buffalo was the last one that was scoreless.
Well, the Chiefs have only converted 1 third-down situation this whole half, 1 for 5, so they're going to have to improve that in that second half.
McNair and Seau with the saddle up there on his shoulder pads.
Call a timeout. Obviously don't want to take any chances and turn it over. Just run the draw. Sort of fits in with the overall philosophy of their whole offense. Don't turn it over. We take it away. You know, I had a chance to talk with David Craig as he walks off the field here, and you know, he says he feels so much better the second half of the season over the first half of the season. Now he can line up. He knows what's going on. He knows the people. He's not thinking about it. And maybe in the second half he can really demonstrate it.
We'll go right up the interstate here to La Costa for next week's Infinity Tournament of Champions. And of course, your story there is Ray Floyd. He's eligible to win both the regular and the senior tournament titles. So while you're watching the football next weekend, check it out. Final round coverage next Sunday right here on ABC.
Think you can handle that assignment without me, Brent?
I'll try, partner. There's your yardage comparison here as these two defenses have dominated. The Chiefs have to feel good, awfully good, about getting out of here with a scoreless first half. They could trail by as many as 10 or 13 points. From the shotgun, with the offensive line holding up, he gets it back into Todd McNair's hands, and it has been McNair. And remember, you don't have to get too close for Nick Lowry to attempt a field goal.
Lowry's the second most successful kicker in the NFL now that Sionovich has kicked more than 100 field goals, but he's not the greatest long field goal kicker. 43% out from 50 yards out.
He has kicked, though, Dick, a 52-yarder.
Yes, he has. He's kicked a lot of 50-yarders. I think some of them were when he was a little bit younger.
Well, this year he hit that 52-yarder.
Yeah, he has.
So they're looking to try to get him inside that 35 if they can here with 7 seconds. Craig throwing incomplete. Unable to pick up the yardage as Hargain was covered. Might as well try the old hook and ladder down here, Coach. Anything you got for the last second? Boy, that reminds me of a great playoff game that involved San Diego and the Miami Dolphins. We'll never forget that baby down there with Kellen Winslow exhausted and giving his all, and Dolphins coming back in it. That was one of the great ones, wasn't it?
It was. And that play, in fact, they did throw a hook and ladder. They did. You with hitch and pitch, whatever you want to call it. Chargers are fouled up on defense. They got it called.
So they'll take a free one. You cannot have a quarter end on a defensive penalty.
Chargers were all fouled up in substitution of their nickel defense.
Foul on the defense. 12 in on the field at the time of the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 3rd down.
Well, Coach Arnsparger, you can see him right in the middle of your screen there. He's yelling to get off the field, but he didn't get off in time.
Move the ball to the Chargers' 42-yard line. And so because you cannot end the quarter, in this case the half, on a defensive penalty, it will be a freebie here for the Chiefs. Well, boy, wouldn't they love to get defensive pass interference down here about the 20-yard line right now.
Well, everybody works on the alley-oop and all that kind of stuff, and every once in a while it works. I've had it work for me one time against the Baltimore Colts.
3-man rush. Craig heaves it. And it is intercepted at the 3-yard line. Carrington returns it to the 43-yard line. And a little fracas breaks out at the far side of the field over there by the Chiefs bench, quickly broken up. And there's the young man who sealed up the end of the first half. And we'll return with halftime activities after this message from the National Football League and a word from our ABC station.
And that resulted in 15 yards, and then of course the drive continued. That was stopped only by the San Diego Chargers themselves with a fumble. But this has been a defensive battle all the way. Even the last play right there on the interception, there was a little scuffle at the end. This is going to be a tremendous second half.
Yeah, battling it out. The first one to score may be the team to win in this one. Earlier today,
Time a scoreless tie, the Chiefs and the Chargers, and Dick Vermeil, the Chiefs coming through with 4 big sacks in the second quarter. Now, what would you do with either of these teams struggling?
Well, first off, in pass protecting Derek Thomas and Smith, I'd keep somebody in position to help the offensive tackle at all times. If he's inside, a back's got to help him back to the inside. Neil Smith, I would do that some of the time, not all the time. I'd also go to my quick drop passing game, my 3-step and 5-step, and get rid of it quickly. And then also, remember, they were very efficient with first down play action. Actually, both teams. Now, I'll tell you this, Kansas City started having some pass protection problems in the second quarter, too, though they only got 1 sack on them. But they were having some problems, and Leslie O'Neal's motor was getting running pretty good.
Dick, let's go down and check in with Lynn Swan. Lynn?
Brent, on the San Diego side, Rod Bernstein has a sprained left ankle. He will not be coming back into this ball game at all. And defensively, they feel like they're doing a good job. They're holding people. They just want to stay a little more consistent, get a little more pressure on the passing game. Offensively, they want to be consistent and run the football better. They're doing a good job on the sprint draw. And that's exactly what the Kansas City Chiefs want to stop. They want to stop that draw. They're not quite sure just what they're doing at this point. So they're going to look at it, take a good long look at it at halftime and try and come up with something. In the first half, they also played predominantly zones against the San Diego passing game. They couldn't get pressure on the quarterback. They changed up. And then they got the pressure, so look for them to stay with the man-to-man and a blitz quite a bit more in the second half. Brent?
All right, Lynn, thank you. Coming up now, the second half. Kansas City and San Diego here on ABC. We've got for everybody some clearing skies here in Southern California and the Goodyear blimp with its first overhead shot. Jack Murphy Stadium. Isn't it great for these fans? Come here for a playoff game. Not since the glory days of Dan Fouts has the team been able to generate this kind of excitement. Obviously, as you've witnessed in the first half, Bobby Ross and this team with a 7-game winning streak due in no small measure to this great defense. And that's how they feel about their new head coach down here. I remember when he went down to Georgia Tech, Marv Levy was trying to hire him as the offensive coordinator up in Buffalo.
Well, you remember he was Marv Levy's special teams coach at Kansas City for 4 years. So he's been in the league for 4 years. And, you know, he came to Georgia Tech and he didn't change from Georgia Tech to the Chargers, and he didn't change his approach, Brent. He's still hard-nosed. He works him hard. He's detailed. He gets on their rear ends when they don't step with a proper foot or put the hat in the right place. He's on top of it.
Carney kicks it off for the Chargers as we start the second half, and it is angling out of bounds. That's a penalty. The Chiefs can take it out at the 35 if they wish.
Kick out of bounds. By rule, we are to place the ball on the 35-yard line. First down.
So ABC's AFC Wildcard playoff game. This ABC Sports Exclusive is brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. By the makers of Advil and tablets or caplets. And by Miller Lite. It's everything you want a beer to be. Both teams in search of some offense. A turnover apiece. And it was extremely costly for the Chargers. They were down Kansas City's 13-yard line on their opening drive. And now that San Diego defense settles in against Dave Krieg. Here's Williams getting outside O'Neal, but just as quickly Stanley Richard, the free safety, closes.
Leslie O'Neal did a great job that time of whipping John Alt. Real good penetration upfield. Halftime stats, the stats are about as even as the score, 0-0. Got 8 total yards difference in the two teams, balanced with the turnovers. Rushing yards favor of Chargers, and sometimes that's an indication, hey, maybe they're a little bit better than the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, get their motor running a little bit more in the second half. When you can run better than your opponent, you normally win.
And now a rain starting to fall again here in San Diego. It's Krieg going deep down the left sideline, incomplete. Barnett, who was the intended receiver at the end of the first half, chipping his teeth a little bit, thinking that that coverage there by the Chargers was a little too tight on the part of Blaylock.
That's the second time we've seen them cover like this, man-to-man, tight all the way down the field. Good secondary technique by Blaylock. All on, got his left hand on him, but not in a position to be called holding. And Barnett has been their big play guy this year. 4 touchdowns and 24 receptions. He can make the big play.
Krieg, incomplete. Broken up beautifully by Donald Frank. That's the second time that he has come over the top in perfect position to deflect the pass.
Boy, it is tough to do because the receiver's running under you to the inside of the field and you're outside of him and you come across to make this. You just have to time it perfectly or else it's pass interference. He gets there in good rhythm with the ball.
Krieg is one of his last 9. And so Barker punting and Nate Lewis set the return for San Diego.
Oh, great punt.
Driving him inside the 15-yard line. And Lewis is over there along with Thompson getting the return man out.
Tackle number 21, Ron Lewis.
Barker has punted well.
He really did. He put it up there. This is an unusual way to field a punt. See, he gets a little too far under it. Now he has to reach back. Boy, that scares you to death. You're standing on the sideline as a coach and watch him misjudge it like that. Thank heavens he has those good hands.
Maybe that's why we've been seeing Gilbert fair catch everything in the first half. Bieniemy is the running back. He's got it. And the defense stretches him out, and Neil Smith said, let's take it down, partner.
See, that is a stretch designed running play, and they like to get you stretched, but stop one defender and then hit that crack. Neil Smith would not allow that to happen. See, he stays inside out on the ball. Neil Smith, left-hand center of your screen. He butts him. He works inside out, down. Good help, good fill. Perfect defense, perfect coordination between inside-out pursuit and the fill man.
How would you like to square off against Neil Smith repeatedly?
Your turn, not mine.
Now Butts the running back.
You know, getting back, excuse me, Brent. Getting back to Neil Smith, he has really become a much more consistent defender against the run and the pass. And he's really matured and bought Marty Schottenheimer's program.
Butts on the sideline. Harmon the back. Humphreys fires back to Walker, who is all alone. Beautifully conceived to get Derek Walker open here on the near side, and it's a 33-yard gain. And folks, in this one, that's huge.
Boy, I'll tell you, you gave him a lot of credit saying that was conceived, but I'm not so sure that was a design play and not a scramble play, broken play, and Walker gets out of it late. But as it shows right there, he's looking back there all the way, so that is a design conceived play. Well done.
He camped out there, and nobody went out with him.
Yeah.
Now butts in. Humphreys couldn't avoid Thomas coming from the blind side. Got around the corner on him.
See, that's what there, he was persistent. He just kept on coming. He was, you know, sometimes he used to, as a rookie, even slow down when he got beyond the quarterback, thinking the quarterback had moved up on inside, he wouldn't get there. This time, he just kept coming and went all the way around and came in from behind. You'll see him right here at the bottom of your screen, coming around. Now watch him work around. Now he keeps on coming. See, he keeps on coming. Good effort.
5 sacks for the Chiefs. They will run Bieniemy, and Martin Bayless brings him down.
Martin Bayless played for a long time here in San Diego. 1987 through 91, started 63 games for him, so he knows what it's like to play in this stadium. Just wearing the wrong jersey.
He doesn't know what it's like to play in a rain in this stadium.
That's true. And he never has he?
There's a Warrior waiting to go back to work. Harmon's the running back. They set the blitz and then pull out of it. And it's deflected by the defensive line on the penetration with a penalty flag down on the play. There was movement on the left side. That was Mickle, who got a hand up.
I think the H-back, inside H-back, they had a couple guys over in this tight formation. I think he moved early. Right in this area right here. See him right there? Yeah, the H-back inside there moved early. That was Derek Walker.
John Kidd punting.
Who's smart, buddy?
Dale Carter. Punt's very well covered by the Chargers. Extremely well covered on that high punt and down inside the 5-yard line. Darren Carrington, who intercepted the pass at the end of the half, was able to get down and down this 39-yard punt.
You think shopping for the perfect
Sports Exclusive is brought to you by the makers of Advil in tablets or caplets. High above Jack Murphy Stadium, a scoreless duel. 10:42 to go. The Chiefs coming out from inside the 5-yard line. The crowd yelling for the Charger defense to get it, to get a safety, get the ball back. They press at the line against Harvey Williams. Nothing doing. Second down.
Dale Carter on that last punt should have fielded that ball on the 10-yard line, just bear catch it, because that losing that 5 to 6 yards back there like that, boy, that makes a heck of a difference on offense and what you can do and what you can call. And if you can't move it, then your punter's already standing back at the end zone line.
J.J. Burden brings the play in from Marty Schottenheimer's sideline. The love affair growing between the Charger fans and this defense. Tough to be heard down here in the closed end. Craig under pressure, incomplete.
Boy, he was lucky he got that. It almost looked like he threw it between and under two people. Blaze Winter was there. Pressure up inside. When you can get it, that quarterback's got the ball in the end zone. He knows where he is. He's got a lot of experience. See Blaze Winter there. Jumped around the center, then beat Luch 72 back to the inside. Great effort by Blaze Winter. Poor blocking by the offensive line.
Here is a key third down. The Chargers would love to force the Chiefs to punt from their own end zone, and Craig is one of the last 10, and this offensive line has to give Craig some time. Grossman was coming, and he's able to get it into Hargan's hands, and Hargan gives the Chiefs a huge first down.
A monstrous first down. To get out of that situation on third down and convert, they've thrown that slant pattern 3 times. That's the 3rd time on a third down conversion. You remember just a little while ago, the one was batted down. We praised the defender. He gets back inside on this one. Gets it right where he has to throw it. Kept him running upfield low into the inside away to the defender. Again, they were in zone that time. Better stick with some man.
A 22-yard gain. Craig trying to change it up, and you can see the cornerback on the right side coming up in a bump and run look, and they hand to Williams. He gets around Grossman and finally steps out of bounds here on the near side.
Grossman is upset. He thought he was held by Baldinger that time. He's yelling at the official. But see, they bounced outside him. He tried to release and come down the line of scrimmage, but he couldn't get out of the grasp. He was upset about it.
Well, earlier today, the Washington Redskins beating Minnesota 24-7. San Francisco next for the Skins. And down goes Blaze Winter. Moving in the middle of the defensive line. Williams, and can't get away from Leslie O'Neal.
Leslie O'Neal's motor was getting running a little faster in the second half. It got even better now in the third quarter. See, they jumped underneath there. He got underneath the tight ends block, outside the tackles block, penetration, no place to go.
The sack war continues for the Chiefs.
Well, Leslie O'Neal jumped underneath Jonathan Hayes. You'll see right here on your screen. Here he is right here. He jumps underneath on an inside swim move. See, Hayes a little late off the ball, goes outside to hook him. He reads it, he jumps up underneath, puts him down. You know, you see right there, his body came down on his right leg, lower leg, right here. You'll see it from behind. Now watch his body come right down on that right leg, right there. Hard to speculate. But, you know, he had a very serious leg operation and knee injury in college as a young college running back and had total reconstruction. Hey, that's nice to see this young man get up and walk away. That was scary looking. You can't be beaten on the inside gap. You always protect your inside gap, Brent. You remember that.
I always do. I never let that inside gap. All right. Here we go now. Scoreless. Kansas City and San Diego. The third down shotgun look. 4 wide receivers. Penalty flag. Loose ball. San Diego pounces on it. But let's see what the officials rule on the play. They said his arm was coming forward.
You know, the Chiefs are having a hard time hearing the audibles, hearing the cadence. Joe Penry, the offensive coordinator, told Lynn Swan they're having a real hard time communicating that, and Lynn just brought us that message.
In a scoreless tie like this, some frustrations are going to mount with the quarterback, and he was over-expressing some to Marty Schottenheimer, who is calming his quarterback down over there on the far sideline right now. Now it is Barker, and he has punted splendidly. Nate Lewis at the 26. Had a little difficulty getting the handle. Did he there for a fraction of a second?
DeHaan Lewis really made a great play there.
Watch this replay and remember this. Before the day is over, something weird is going to happen in this football game to give one of these teams a chance.
See, if that ball's on the turf, Kansas City has it. That's the kind of play you're talking about, huh, Brent?
You bet, Dick. Now, Stan Humphries and the Chargers. Marion Butts, the running back. Meanwhile, Harvey Williams over there trying to get himself loose on the Kansas City sideline so he can come back.
Well, they have two other fine real running backs in Barry Ward and Christian Okoye, both guys that have been over 1,000. You know, different style back right here, but those other two guys can play. There's Christian right there. You know what I like about him? He's a tempo setter. I think sometimes the squad rallies around him.
Had to rally around him on the sideline today. Harmon and Butts. There's Harmon in motion. Humphries getting time, snaps it into Harmon's hands. Harmon's trying to get to that first down chain, and he may have been helped by Bayless.
Hard for Thomas to get there when they block him like this. Very seldom, I think, in the second half will we see Thomas blocked by himself. Here he comes. See, they're going to chip him right here. The tackle has got him. Now he's doing a good job. They're going to chip him right there, and they're going to hold him. Harry Swain, number 72's got a pretty good lock on here.
Humphries on first. And he fires to Harmon again, and now Harmon is starting to get involved. You know, number one in the league in catching passes for running backs. He has caught 4 today for 21 yards.
Dave Adolph, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, told me when he's in the ball game, it's about 80% pass. But see, what they're doing right now is they're keeping a lot of people in to help. There's Dave Adolph right there. Very fine defensive football coach, good coordinator. He's been around for a long time.
Anthony Miller comes out to the left side of the formation. Kevin Ross locked up at the bottom of your screen. And Butts pounds into the middle, and Butts breaks it. 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, San Diego.
The Bear defense, see, they have everybody covered up inside right here like that, and they pop it through anyway. Good blocking at the point. Now the big man and Mincy, the safety, has to make that play. That's poor safety play. Can't play in the National Football League if you can't come up and at least get a piece of it. Motley at 250 pounds. See, in the defensive safety, yes, he's outweighed, but he still should get in position to make that tackle.
Only Delta gives you more flights from over here to over there. Only Delta flights. These airlines combined. Delta, we love to fly, and it shows the world over.
Mind readers, communicate.
Dale Carter will attempt to return the kickoff for Kansas City after Butts turns in his career run, 54 yards, the longest run of the season for San Diego, and the Chargers up by 7. Carney picked up by Carter at the 11-yard line and out of bounds in the arms of Stanley Richard. And now penalty flags come flying.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the kicking team, number 34. We will tack on 15 yards, first down.
Hey, those Napa Valley guys aren't too smart. We gave them a little praise there in that first quarter, Steve Hendrickson, for making a good play. Here's Carter right in the middle of your screen right there. And see the face mask is being pushed back there by Hendrickson. Not a good move.
And the ball is brought out to the Chiefs' 31-yard line with Bill Arnsberger's defense settling in again as Harvey Williams returns for the Chiefs. Craig intercepted by O'Neal.
David Craig, not the tallest guy in the world, 6'1", sits back, has good time right now. And then you'll see right there, Blaze Winter did a great job of leaping. In time, he did that 2 other times coming into this ball game. Creates the turnover. Good technique, good reaction by Blaze Winter. Interception by O'Neal. Momentum is switching right here. Look at O'Neal. He thinks, look at him go for that ball at the highest point. Looks like a wide receiver.
Now Butts in at running back. He scored just moments ago, short of the 20-yard line.
Good offensive call, Brent. See, they've gained a little momentum, emotion. They're picking up, they're getting excited. Come off and go after him with a good base man blocking and knock him back. See, that gives the other people a chance to get excited too, the offensive linemen. David Craig there talking to Blasek, his backup quarterback.
Pound again to the 18 and Bayless.
A little bit of counteraction. Boy, Butts takes a load to the line of scrimmage when he gets there. Yes, he's big, but he accelerates like he did on that touchdown run. He can get between people. That was the longest touchdown run of his career. Look at those sides. Here's Derek Thomas. He's pretty strong himself. Not as big, but he is strong. Gets bound underneath him, gets him to the legs, and he runs right through him.
Now it's the Bieniemy Harmon package, and in this, Harmon has gone in motion as he does here. And it's Bieniemy stepping for the first down.
The last 2 times they've had Harmon in the ball game, they've thrown the ball. This time they put him in motion as if they're going to throw to him. He becomes a backside blocker, and they counter away. Good offensive changeup. Right now, if you're on the sideline as a coach, you're saying, guys, remind those guys in that offensive backfield to hang on to that football, concentrate what you have in your hands. Let's not take a sack. Throw it in the end zone. We're field goal range right now.
I stand corrected. They were short. And they will trot Carney on the field.
Bieniemy was trying to do his part right here, so watch him try to reach here, get it out there. See, he's sliding it out, but just a little bit late. Good try.
Dickett is 4th and inches, leading by 7. Offensive line doing a job. I guess you have to take the conservative approach here.
I think you do.
It does make you wonder a little bit, though, I know. 34-yard attempt for Carney.
You got a 100% kicker right here.
Yeah. You'll take it now.
I'll take it.
Join the world's top skaters on the ice. It's the Durasoft Colors World Challenger Champions next Saturday on ABC. Here on this Saturday, 1993, the San Diego Chargers with a 10-0 lead on Kansas City. It'll be down to the end zone. So following an interception by Leslie O'Neal, the Chargers add a Carney field goal, giving them a 10-point lead against a struggling Kansas City offense. And there is Dave Craig, and folks have speculated for years how far he could take you as a quarterback in the playoffs. He moved to the Chiefs from Seattle this year, and he has struggled against this defense. Harvey Williams is his running back.
The whole offensive team has struggled, not just David.
Seau looks in. O'Neal's coming again. He's got an open receiver this time. Fumble. Chiefs have got it. Ball got out of bounds on that lick.
That was one of those vertical stretch patterns where the wide receiver takes the outside defender all the way down into the end zone, and then they try to hit the crease between the line of scrimmage and the deep receiver. You'll see the slot man here to the left side of your screen. Now watch him work. That's J.J. Burden. Watch him work into that zone area. See, what he did is he drifted into the... That was a reception and a fumble.
Stanley Richard jarred the ball out.
Let's see if he gets his feet down. 1, 2. Hey, that's a fumble. Yep.
24-yard gain, and again, the key break for Kansas City is that ball got out of bounds on the hit with Barry Word, now the running back. And Craig firing again for 9 yards to Willie Davis, who had covered up on the reception, and Dave Craig standing tough now, starting to move the Chiefs.
I'll tell you, I think it's Sean Lee, 98 defensive tackle. He's doing a power rush inside like there. Here he comes right there and knocks him back. Now that was Winter. And he gets 2 people. One guy hits him in front, the other guy trips him. A lot of pressure by that defensive line right now. Really coming after him. Look at that look in their eyes. Old Blaze Winter. He's been around a while. He wants the opportunity to get a piece of him.
Second and short, and it's Barry Ward battling for a first down. So it's a first down. The ball is at the Chargers' 45-yard line. Only the second time the Chiefs have been in San Diego territory. Play fake to Word. O'Neal's coming. O'Neal and Grossman coming, and that is the second sack by the Chargers.
David Craig was going to stop, set up, and slide inside to the pocket off the action, and he couldn't do it. He lost his footing. You'll see him right behind David Craig, 17, the right side of your screen. See, watch, he makes the reaches, makes the fake. Now watch him try to set up right here. See, he plants those 2 feet, he leans too much weight back. Boy, there he goes. Galliano here, backup quarterback for the Chargers, warming up. I don't know what for.
check it down. Craig slips again and throws incomplete to Keith Cash. Footing a problem the last 2 times for Craig.
Boy, he's trying to get back quickly and set. Look at that look on his face. He's disgusted. Wonder what kind of shoes he has on. Here he is again. See, he plants those 2 feet, and he's just not being able to set up good balance and throw. You're never going to throw accurately in a poor position like that.
Todd McNair in the backfield for the Chiefs. Now Seau drops out. Grossman is picked up, but they forced him up into the middle. It was Grossman coming hard from the outside, and O'Neal stepped up inside.
O'Neal and Winter on the offensive left, defensive right, ran a cross charge on him, and that just crushed the whole pocket inside. Here you're going to see out inside right up here like that, then pressure from the left side. See him stunt right here. Did a good job here. Gets that push up inside. Alt switches off, and there he is. I'm not so sure Alt should have come off on him that late.
Now Barker punting and Gil Bird. The Chargers using the sure-handed Bird back deep. And this one will bounce dead on the 7-yard line. He has punted beautifully today for the Chiefs. A 49-yarder that time. And it will be up to the Chiefs defense to create something now as San Diego leads them 10-0 here in the first playoff game and over. But your day that this defense gave them an opportunity. Marion Butts is the running back. After a scoreless first half, Marion Butts erupts 54 yards for the game's first score. Then a Leslie O'Neal interception sets up a John Carney field goal, and the San Diego Chargers are 15 minutes away from advancing to the next round. Meanwhile, Kansas City's defense will attempt to tee off. Harmon on the draw.
Harmon doesn't get to carry the ball that often, being emphasized as a receiver, but when he does, he is effective. See, people automatically think pass, and I'm sure that linebackers let the rushman know Harmon's in here. Let's get that, wait for it, and get after the passer. This time they hand off the draw. Good flex, good mobility to make a miss.
Now it is 3rd and 6. Humphreys incomplete. Chargers punting.
Taking a look at the numbers here after the 3rd quarter, you can see the Chargers gradually working ahead now, moving out in total offense by over 70 yards and dominating in the running game, moving way out.
Now comes a moment that the Chiefs need to come up big. Dale Carter will stand on the Kansas City 45-yard line. Ooh, they were coming after Kid. Fair catch at the 42.
Boy, he boomed that one. What a good time to get a good punt.
He pulled the trigger. A 45-yard punt. Might want to pass the oxygen on to the offensive lineman.
I agree. They're getting beat at the point right now.
They're faced with an uphill task now, trailing by 10. Best starting field position of the day against Junior Seau and friends. Barry Ward on the delay, and O'Neal closing in. He's had a monster of a day.
Leslie O'Neal has gotten stronger as the game has gone on. Here he is, number 91, right in the center, working on Alt, number 76. Alt hooks him a little bit there, trying to draw technique to get him to come up outside. Leslie read it back inside and went underneath. Good read. by Leslie O'Neal.
6 tackles, 1 sack, and an interception.
Pretty good day's work.
Now Alt down and ready to go to war again. Holds up. Craig fires complete across midfield to Davis.
Even at that, when he gets back there, he's shuffling to try to find a spot so he can throw the ball. Good pressure on him, good reaction. He works back inside here in the zone. See, they shovel him back, let him go. See, everyone playing zone in here. He just stops in the hole and works upfield with it. Willie Davis, number 84.
On 3rd down, needing that.
This would be a good time. They haven't been effective in any way of getting a big play. Sometimes the best way to get a big play in your offense is in the unusual down and distance situation. Here it is, 3rd and short. Hey, maybe real strong play action a la Don Shula. Okay. Go ahead and get a big one. Not going to do it all spread out like that.
Content to let Craig go for the 1st down. So a little blue sky in the distance. It has been a rainy playoff day here in San Diego. Much more reminiscent of what you would experience back in the Midwest. Neil Smith,
Kevin Ross, giving a little pep talk over there. The offensive line has been so banged up through the year. They just have had a hard time being a consistent offensive football team.
Craig, here comes O'Neal. Fumble, and it was recovered by Alt.
It looks like they're going to have to give John Alt some help to block him. I've seen times when John Alt could block the best, but he can't get it done today. Right in the center of your screen, 76 John Alt. O'Neal, 91. See? Tried to cut him. Boy, if you cut a guy and he doesn't go down with you, this is what happens to you. Leslie O'Neal, too good an athlete. Look at too good an athlete to cut that way. Don't like that technique, never had.
From the shotgun. Swinging it to McNair. Seau bumps him out. And Frank cleans up.
You know, they do have a screen in their game plan. You know, he's out there, but he has nobody, no screen wall, no help. You know, if you can get somebody out there, of course, when you run a screen, sometimes you draw defenders with you.
3rd down. 8 yards. Craig. Firing incomplete.
Excellent play again by Anthony Blaylock. We've called his name in the same situation 3 times today. He's on Tim Barnett, man-to-man. Does an excellent job of knocking that ball away. Marty Schottenheimer got a lot of poise. Super football coach. Not going to panic yet.
Barker. High punt. Fair catch signaled inside the 10-yard line again. And both these punters, Barker and Kidd, have done a job here. That one's a 38-yarder, and again the Chargers are inside the 10. 10:29 to go. San Diego with a first down on their own 9-yard line. Marion Butts is the running back. The Chiefs trail it by 10. Butts, who scored the game's only touchdown, is wrapped up. So prime time tomorrow. Drew Barrymore, this is the one you've waited for. Amy Fisher in the Amy Fisher story. Frankly, I'd love to see her funniest home videos, wouldn't you, folks? That's tomorrow's lineup right here on ABC. Second down and 6. Now Stan Humphries. Acquired from the Redskins in a trade. Butts. Popped by Bayless.
That offensive line is coming off the ball real well. That time they used a wham blocker, meaning they took him back and let him through on a defensive lineman. You'll see what I'm talking about right here. Watch the back to the left-hand corner of your screen. See, now watch him come through. That's Alfred Papuno. Now watch him come in and wham! That sealed the hole off inside, but they couldn't block Bayless sitting back there.
Now it's third down. Humphries goes downfield. It is caught by Miller. Fumble. Loose ball. Oh, and the Chargers wrap it up. Miller gets back on it.
When it's going your way, it's going your way. Miller told me the other day he would rather go deep on Kevin Ross than he would on Carter or Albert Lewis. He had his opportunity that time. Perfect protection, could step up, throw it out there in front. See, he has him beaten to the inside. Now watch this, the ball gets knocked out right here. It's going your way when this happens. Everyone's going to come in there and try to get it. Excellent effort by a backside receiver to keep the ball moving. Excellent.
Great.
Chargers wanted it more.
Anthony Miller went hard after that loose ball. Neil Smith can't get in on Bieniemy. And there's a penalty flag down on the play.
Brent, the effort made by Chargers to get that ball was much greater than the Chiefs to recover that ball. Boy, they were flying for it. Again, taking a look at the end of that previous play. Nice catch. This guy can fly. Second fastest man in the NFL. Only Green from the Redskins beat him a couple years ago. Ball knocked out. Now watch the black jerseys flash. Oh.
Well, we'll get back to that in a moment. This was an offside penalty here. So it is going to be a 1st and 5. You can see that the ball has been spotted close to the 23. Coach Ross and the Chargers in a commanding position now against Schottenheimer and the Chiefs. With 8 minutes to go, a 10-point lead and driving again and using Bieniemy on a change of pace down to the 21-yard line. Chris Martin. So here we want to see the end of the play. You will watch Brennan come in and he helps keep one of the Chargers out, and then Miller will come flashing in there, and as Dick pointed out, he wanted it more. There was Brennan, and Miller just goes in and simply takes it away.
Tahan Lewis didn't respond as aggressively, that's all. Bobby Ross said it's not enough to get here.
Humphries incomplete.
They're going to call
and
pass
Simeon hit the receiver right in the middle. One of the things about Stan Humphries that you notice, he is a tough hombre. In the National Football League, you got to have guts to play quarterback, and he will hang in.
That ball was batted there, and they didn't call pass interference. See that right there? They ruled the ball uncatchable.
Papuno went down.
The hands are getting higher in the back of the forehead there.
Needing a couple of yards. gives it to him.
Great block by left guard Eric Moten, 77. He knew they were coming up behind him. Here he is over on the left side of the quarterback. Watch 77 come off the football here. Wham! Look at that. Butt down, moving those feet, turn them out. Good job by Eric Moten.
The offensive line for the Chargers has been the difference. 162 yards rushing today to 61 for the Chiefs.
You know, the guy coaching that offensive line is an old tough guy himself, and Carl Mock. He played for a long time.
Here's the enemy on a delay, crossing the 15-yard line.
This is the kind of football they wanted to play. They wanted to run the football. Marty didn't want to allow them to run the football. The game is being won in the pits. Offensive line dominating right now for the Chargers.
Three huge plays with a timeout having been called by Kansas City. Butts' touchdown run, O'Neill's interception, and Miller recovers his own fumble.
Surprise!
By 10. Time starting to slip away from Kansas City. And it has been thunder and lightning here today. Ross said football is a line of scrimmage game. And his offensive line doing the job here today.
Didn't he tell us he just walks up and down the line of scrimmage in practices to make sure they're working with the right feet, putting the hat in the right spot, coming off in the right person.
The enemy. And that change of pace runner.
I'll tell you, that time Eric Moten, the left guard again, came off the ball, and I think I saw a pancake. You don't see a pancake very often in the National Football League, meaning they took a defender and put him on his back. Good job, Mr. Moten. Take a quick look at this on the left side of your screen. Nice little crash in there, flattens, and there goes another man down.
Now you can look into the eyes of that defensive line, starting to reel a little bit, knowing the time is running out, and all you've planned for in this season is about to come to an end unless something big happens. The Chiefs have to stop them here.
Calling another timeout, I think. Marty Schottenheimer, Dave Adolphus, coordinator.
Dick, there are some fans back in Kansas City and Chief fans around the country who would want to ask you, why does their offense seem so ultra-conservative? What's the problem with the Kansas City attack?
Well, it's a philosophy. I don't know if it's a problem. They want to run the football, and last year they were the top running team. They were number 3 in running the ball at averaging 138. This year, with the offensive line injuries, they've been averaging 96, and they just haven't been able to do what they want to do. So now you try to go ahead and do some other things, and that's really not part of your personality, and they're just not good enough.
You know, last year when we had them, they were averaging 3.5 yards a rush about.
Yards per rush average aren't as critical as just the number of rushes. When you get up there and averaging 139 yards a game, you're doing a good job. This year, under 100. Lost the right tackle, Derek Graham, after the 3rd game. He never played. Then Baldinger came in. He got hurt there. They lost Tim Grunhardt. He's been hurt. Other guys played banged up. It's not the same offensive line. And regardless of what philosophy you have then offensively, you're not very good.
Remember, this drive started back on their own 9-yard line at 5:27, and now the Chargers use a timeout with 5 minutes to go. Quite a turnaround in the National Football League this year, and this was certainly not the only success story written around the NFL. There are your division champions, and for the first time since the merger in 1970, 6 different division winners from the previous season. Pittsburgh, San Diego, Minnesota the biggest surprises, but Miami able to sneak up on a beaten-up Buffalo team. Dallas, well, they were given a shot, and certainly San Francisco came into the season. And you would say that the 49ers and the Cowboys would be favored by the folks who follow this league regularly to wind up one of them out of the NFC in Pasadena at the Super Bowl.
You know, I had the opportunity a while back to talk with Jim Moore, New Orleans Saints head coach, and he told me this was just a week and a half ago that he thought the 49ers might be the best offensive team he's ever coached against in the National Football League.
There were a lot of folks last year who thought that they were the best team, and of course they didn't even get in to the playoffs. Now the ball is down near the 5-yard line. Touchdown, Steve Hendrickson. Oh, what a moment for him. Your first carry of the year, and you put your team to the next level in the playoffs.
It's just a counter. They start one way, and he comes slashing back to the inside off that right there, right up inside. Fullback, linebacker, special teams player, a tempo setter for the football team. And I think Bobby Ross called that play, put him in there for that reason. A little trap block right there. Good wham block by the tight end coming across. He called it because that guy earned the right to score that touchdown.
Don't let up. Don't let up. You coach every second of your life for the NFL.
And that's what they say he does on the practice field. I had one player told me, Brent, that you know, when they tape practice, if he sees somebody in the meeting rooms and the tape and there's someone standing behind the huddle and they're not paying attention, he stops and coaches that kid in the meeting room for not looking. Again, right up inside. Hendrickson, he's an original piece of work, this guy. Vintage High School in Napa, California.
I believe it's okay for him to have a glass of the vintage red tonight.
Well, I think Mondavi ought to send him a case.
I think the last big-time win in San Diego by one of their teams, if I'm not mistaken, and I can still see the ball going between Leon Durham's legs at first base, when the Padres took care of the Cubs. Listen to him in San Diego. Through Carter's legs and into the end zone. If he touched it, he's got to come out, doesn't he? Or did the momentum take it on back?
I think they ruled,
a touchback.
I think they ruled it went through, yeah.
Now let's check the seedings of the teams that stepped on into the playoffs. And now it looks like San Diego has another appointment down in Miami against the Dolphins. And then tomorrow, Buffalo and Houston. Rematch, interesting game there. You know, this is the year with the Bills beaten up. This is the year where a team could get on a roll in the AFC and wind up in the playoffs. You may have a surprise team from the AFC get in. Todd McNair. And Craig firing complete. Tony Cargain, the receiver. 24-yard gain.
The Chargers can sit back there and play those zones right now. Care less about everything else going on. They're still getting a great rush out of the down 4.
O'Neal pushed off.
Oh!
And he did it, get it into McNair's hands as Sean Lee unloaded on him.
He beat Dave Zott around to the outside. Dave Zott has been their most consistent and best offensive lineman all through the year. He's played all ball games, every one. He started all of them. But he came around You'll see in the middle of your screen, he gets around the offensive guard, back up inside. Now they force him up. Here comes Lee. Wham! That's smart.
The ball at the Chargers' 42-yard line. Now Leslie O'Neal and the rest try to bring some heat on Craig. Flags down.
Looked like a defensive tackle was offside. We'll see. Unless they call it on the offense, drew him.
False start. Offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
I think that was David Zott, Brent. He was the offensive lineman that was just beaten on that last snap, getting a little anxious to get set up properly. Same guy rushing him. I think they've had a problem all day in this stadium hearing real well. The offensive linemen have. There's been a negative to them.
And on cue, the sun is starting to peek through here in San Diego. 4:12 to go. Chargers 17, Chiefs nothing. O'Neal coming again at Craig. In there with Blaze Winter.
What a great story he is. Blaze Winter out of football, makes his own tape, produces it himself, sends it around, shows it to the Chargers. They give him a chance, and Blaze Winter gets another chance to sack the quarterback.
And the reason why Bill Arnsparger liked him was not so much the quality of the tape, but the fact that it showed desire on his part. And that's what the young man was bringing on that play, was plenty of desire.
You know, Brent, I faulted David Zott for a sack or a real pressure there a minute ago, and they have moved Valerio, number 73, in his position. So it wasn't Zott, it's Valerio. Here he is. You see him on the screen, just having his hands full right there with Sean Lee. Here's David Zott. He's been their most consistent guy. 43 consecutive starts, 16 last year, 16 this year.
The Chiefs are out of timeouts. They trail it by 17, and their season about to come to an end here in San Diego.
I'll bet you, knowing Marty Schottenheimer like I do, I'll bet they do a lot of reevaluating the overall approach to offensive football. You know, they're getting into playoffs and not going to that next level.
There is Alex Spanos, and he has known the bad times here in San Diego. What was he telling us about the reaction to his ownership?
He said every time we lose in all the bad years, it's my fault. We get it going now and got the right coach, everything going well, and it's everybody else's fault that they're having success. He's not getting any of the credit, is what he's saying.
O'Neal got a piece of that one.
Everything starts at the top.
Not been shut out since 1987, 94 games. And that could happen right here with 3:57 to go. Junior Seau, what did he say at the top of the broadcast? We'll smile, we'll rejoice when this is over.
You know, in talking with Schottenheimer, he has not faulted his quarterback for the offense not really being good. He said through the year, he's only had about 8 bad quarters, and not all in a row either. I mean, different times, but overall, he thinks David Craig has done a good job for him.
You pay a price when you face that man as a coordinator, and he's got talent on the defensive side of the ball. That has always been the case. O'Neal. Craig steps away. Fumble. Wrapping up, Stanley Richard.
Trying to make something happen. Hard outside rush again by O'Neal. Another back rush up inside. Here and it's stripped from behind there by Lee. Now he kicks it downfield and Stanley Richard comes up with the ball. It's one they won't forget for a long time. Watching Cupsey, he's had the ball over his career knocked out of his hands many times. Right there, he's just trying to make something happen.
Bob Galliano will close it up here with a huge smile on his face. The veteran. And they go to work on the clock with the enemy, Stan Humphries. Remember, a week ago up in Seattle, left that game with an injured left shoulder. There were questions about whether or not he would be able to play this week. Humphries has proven, above all else, that he is a tough hombre. There was nothing in it to keep him out of this game. He stood tall here today, and he should take his offensive line out to dinner. On the other side, the struggles of Dave Craig, again unable to advance in the playoffs, and his offensive line must share that burden here today as the Chargers came through big time defensively. Final 3 minutes, and now it is Bieniemy.
You know, Bob Galliano started the first game of the season against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now he finishes the season for Kansas City here today.
Personal foul on the offense. Number 72, you're going to penalize 15 yards. The down counts. It will be third down.
That's Harry
with
Swain, yeah.
These aerial pictures are courtesy of Goodyear's Airship Eagle, based in Carson, California. Our cameraman up there, Richard Morkel. We enjoyed having the blimp yesterday in Pasadena, and wasn't that a wonderful Rose Bowl, won by Michigan over Washington in that game. Here it has been all defense. Neil Smith and the Chiefs on the short end right now. The San Diego defense today have held Kansas City to 61 yards rushing, 13 this half, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 1 fumble recovery. And now the Chargers will bring down the clock. Here is Ronnie Harmon. And it was Harmon who had a huge recovery on a fumble when Anthony Miller broke free. And it was his great desire that gave the ball back to the Chargers, and they were able to march in for their clinching touchdown. There have been 3 huge plays in this contest. Butt's 54-yard touchdown run, Leslie O'Neal's interception, and Harmon's hustling recovery of Miller's fumble. This was a team all year named Desire. This would be their 8th victory in a row.
And the owner wants some of the credit.
Now with San Diego punting, John Kidd, who has certainly held up, as has Brian Barker, punting for the Chiefs. 2 minutes to go, and San Diego set for a trip to Miami. And Mincy runs it down, and he's out of bounds. The 13-yard line. The game was scoreless. 5:53 to go in the third quarter. Marion Butts took the handoff and exploded with his longest run, and the longest run of the season for the San Diego Chargers. And remember, this is a team that could be hosting the championship game if things break right. The next big play was Leslie O'Neal. Off the deflection, he came up with an interception that set up John Carney's field goal. And then it was the completed pass to Anthony Miller racing down the sideline. He fumbles. And watch Ronnie Harmon. This is a team named Desire. And now they're 151 away from the Dolphins. Incomplete. A penalty marker is down. And Dick, you and I want to thank some people who have helped us. Roger Riley stepped in, lives here in San Diego, came back and was our stats man for the Rose Bowl, and then down here, and of course the ever-present Jimmy Tubbs. We couldn't get anything done without my spotter.
Speak for yourself.
And of course the big fellas too, you know. Executive producer of ABC Sports is Jack O'Hara. Today's game was produced by Joel Feld, directed by Drew Esikoff, who also came down for the Rose Bowl. Congratulations, along with our technical directors Doug Schmidt, Mike Carmen, our associate director Patrick McManus. You all did a great job for us. 1:45 to go. And didn't the Charger defense do a fabulous job in this one?
Two outstanding leaders on that Charger defense, Leslie O'Neal and Junior Seau. And it's really great when your leaders are great players as well. And this is what the coaches were talking about. They have set the tempo all year.
I was so impressed with Seau as a person. Grew up in this area, how he responds to the youngsters. When someone wants an autograph, he feels for his family, that tight-knit American Samoan family.
Yeah, you know what he said to me? He says, Coach, my parents could hardly understand English. They raised 5 children, and I'm the baby. They gave the baby Junior everything. That's why they call me Junior. He says, now it's my turn to give something back to him. Bobby Ross has coached attitude as well as technique.
Leslie O'Neal, one of the great warriors in this one.
There's a warrior was standing right in front of Karl Mock, the offensive line coach.
And would you believe that Steve Hendrickson has now gone in at defensive end? He scored a touchdown for him. 34 wants to get a little bull rush going. And another sack, this one by Sean Lee, who's played well on the inside.
Look at that grin. Look at that grin. You gotta like it. It's Mike Babb, number 6. The thing now is to enjoy it tonight and refocus tomorrow.
Good coaches.
Oh, I know it. I tell you.
You're right.
I mean, like Bobby Ross said, all we've done is earn the right to keep playing. That's all we've done. And that's how he thinks. And the players have bought everything he said. You know, they started out 0-4. You know, they weren't believing everything at that time, but he got them going.
There's Hendrickson. He kind of gets pushed off. And pass is complete to Michael Smith.
Michael Smith just signed as a free agent, just activated.
The Chiefs would dearly love to walk out of here without being shut out. They're going to have to hurry.
When you can rush the passer and then stop the run with 4 down linemen without doing a lot of blitzing, you're going to win a lot of football games.
And look at 34 coming at him on the inside. Burden is loose. And Burden is brought down by Donald Frank. That was the early one. Washington now goes to San Francisco. San Diego goes to Miami. This one's history. start the celebration. Dick Vermeil, I've enjoyed it again this year.
Thank you. I have too. It's been great. A lot of games.
Thanks to Lynn Swan. I'm Brent Musburger. So long from San Diego. The amazing Chargers advance.
Next Saturday on ABC Sports.
A decade as they hosted the Chiefs, the team that had beaten them twice this year. Let's see how it turned out. It was a defensive struggle, the number 4 and 5 defenses in the NFL, and the question mark before the game, would Stan Humphries play? Well, he had that separated shoulder, but he looked good early until...
And they get the ball to Nate Lewis.
As he finds Nate Lewis in a 38-yard gain, then they drive all the way to the 10 when Marion Butts coughed it up. Bobby Ross bummed out, but they stuck with it until he's buried by the other Albert Lewis, the Chiefs. And then the Chargers answer with their own defense. Bert Grossman in on Dave Craig. Neil Smith corralling Humphries. 4 sacks in the second quarter by Kansas City led to a scoreless halftime as Craig couldn't get anything going either. As Junior Seau was in his face and feet in his face. Third quarter, it is time for Marion Butts. He takes the handoff up the middle, breaks 2 tackles, and 58 yards later, the longest run of the season at the biggest time he could get it. Butts puts him up 7-0. Dave Craig looking for air in Jack Murphy Stadium. Airs one out, and it's tipped and picked off on the very next play from scrimmage after Butts TD. Leslie O'Neal hauls it in. That led to a Kearney field goal to make it 10-0. Then Humphries up top to Anthony Miller, who coughs it up. Then it's a loose ball. Batted around. San Diego wanted a little bit more. They hold on to it, and it caps an 80-yard drive when Steve Hendrickson went in. San Diego shuts them out 17-0. It is their 8th straight win. They move on to play Miami in the next round of the playoffs. Much more coming up on primetime at the bottom of the hour. Now let's go to college basketball.
Let the playoffs begin on NFL primetime. The champion Redskins were all fired up. The Vikings were ready to flip. Last year's Super Bowl hero looked to regain his form on the very same field. Had a wet Jack Murphy. The Chiefs tried to tee off on the Lightning Bolts. Points were at a premium, but hits were not. Who would be the best in the AFC West? The road to Pasadena begins today on NFL primetime. Began at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. Then they moved out west, where Stan Humphries played at Jack Murphy Stadium. Wild Card Saturday. And the playoffs are underway. Hello, everybody. Welcome to NFL Primetime Playoff Edition. And we're all fired up because pair of first-round games Saturday, pair of first-round wild card games on Sunday. Can't do this alone, as you know. So we've enlisted the help of some big-time experts. Tom Jackson, Joe Theismann in the studio with us for the rest of the ride. Yes, for a change. Welcome back. And we have plenty to show, plenty to talk about today. And I guess today the games began, fellas, with 2 veteran coaches going up against 2, Dave Craig and the Chiefs, or the Poltergeist defense of the young Lightning Bolts. Primetime returns in just a moment.
Primetime is brought to you by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of 1993 Lincoln and Mercury automobiles.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Another battle of a veteran playoff coach, Marty Schottenheimer, against a neophyte, at least in the NFL, Bobby Ross. First playoff game at the Murph, at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego in 12 seasons. Fans at the Murph came out to see if the Chargers could continue their Cinderella roll from an 0-4 start right into the playoffs. Their task today, beat a Kansas City Chiefs team, playoff weathered, a team that had beaten the Chargers the previous 2 times this season. But Bobby Ross's Chargers are taking no prisoners. Both have great defenses, Ross and Marty Schottenheimer. The hits were plentiful. Junior Seau, the accidental step on Dave Craig's head. Neil Smith, the late shot to a writhing Rod Bernstein, had to leave the game, did not return. And Steve Hendrickson, it's not one Chief, but 2 Chiefs on the special teams. And then they say, thank you very much, Steve, get out of here. Good news for the Chargers. The injured quarterback, Stan Humphries, played, looked sharp. First play, Humphries goes up top to Nate Lewis. Yes, we can stand in the pocket and throw it 38 yards. Neil Smith digging in for the Chiefs. Chargers on the 10-yard line. And they give the ball to Marion, but it's a fumble, and Smith recovers. Good drive by the Chargers, but the Chiefs defense makes the turnover. Derek Thomas, meanwhile, large.
With his signature outside pass rush, gets the arm under Derek Walker, gets around for the sack.
Stan Humphries doing the things that he's in there to do. All right, nobody's open. Let me look. All right, I'll take the sack. Oh, it takes me out of field goal range, but didn't throw the interception.
John Connie from 52 yards. Doink. No good. His first miss since November 15th. That's allowed, John, and we're scoreless at the half. Third quarter, ex-Buffalo Bill Ronnie Harmon from Humphries. Boy, what a year he's had. 9 yards. Humphries, the third down back again. Harmon, 7 yards. So Harmon making him look outside. Marion, blocks inside, 54 yards. He could go all the way. 7-0, the Lightning Bolts.
Really got to focus here on Eric Moten's great block on Tracy Simeon. Butts is, after you see the fans cheer, watch it. There you go. There's the block. Number 77 does an excellent job on Simeon inside. Butts with a little shake. And you're right. He could. He did.
Go ahead, Joe.
He's gone.
Dave Craig and Marty Schottenheimer trying to get things straight. But Craig's pass. Blaze the Lion in Winter deflects it. Leslie O'Neal gets the pick, sets up a Carney field goal. It's 10-0. The Lightning Bolts. Humphries to Anthony Miller. He's hit by Kevin Ross at the 8. It's a stumbling. Oh, let me tell you about Ronnie Harmon is Johnny on the spot. And the Chiefs at this point can't catch a break. A rare ball carrier. You saw him on special teams. Steve Hendrickson says, I want to chew up the Chiefs. It's a touchdown. 17-0 San Diego. The Chargers. Yes, that's the next stop. The Chargers defense pitches the shutout. 7 sacks, 6 of them coming in the second half. And Boltergeist, they're your worst nightmare. They'll be back in the playoffs next week. Chargers 17, the Chiefs nothing. After the game, our Mark Schwartz talk with the winning quarterback, Stan Humphries.
All right, Chris, they are celebrating at the Murph. And with me, Stan Humphries, a guy who before the game, nobody knew if you'd be out there.
I tell you, I just wanted to be out there for these guys and these fans. These people deserve this, and you know, I've been fighting all year long, and I wouldn't have missed this today.
Hey, Stan, with number 58, Thomas, and number 90, Smith out there, you had to be concerned about the shoulder.
A little bit, yeah, but, you know, I got faith in my guys up front, but they're great football players, and, you know, you just got to hang in there and hang in there. Our defense is playing great, and just hopefully make a couple of big plays and turn the whole game around.
You guys were going 0-0. It was a defensive struggle, and all of a sudden, Butts breaks one.
Yeah, it's just something we try to hang in there. Our defense is playing so good that you just try to hang in there and make a big play here and there, and it kind of turns the whole game around.
How do you compare this to being a part of a Super Bowl champion?
I tell you, I like this a little better, I think, because I'm actually out on the field playing. You know, I'm going to respect and always treasure the Super Bowl, but this is a lot more fun, I think, because I'm out there playing.
It used to be Air Coryell, now it's San Diego.
I hope so. I hope we can keep it up.
All right, good job. Stan Humphries going to San Diego. The Chargers beat the Chiefs 17-zip. Chris, back to you.
All right, Mark, thank you. And Humphries showed his grit. He was sacked 5 times, much like Brett Favre played with the separated left shoulder all year for the Pack. Humphries gutted it out. And I tell you what, they ran up the gut today. First 2 games combined, the Chargers ran for only 145 yards against the Chiefs. Today alone, almost 200, 192 to be exact. So the Chargers ran on the ground. And Tommy, their defense, I mean, this is these guys' first playoff game. and they pitch a shutout. That's what a confidence builder, as if this team didn't need any more time.
This is a great effort by the defense, and I think they have a lethal combination when you talk about the great athletes that they have defensively in the Junior Seahouse, the Leslie O'Neals, and then the mind of Bill Arnsparger on that sideline. Today, they played good run defense, set everything off of that. And for the Chiefs, this was a team that at the beginning of the year, all we heard was Barry Word, Okoye, Williams. The last 6 games of the season, including today, they did not run for 100 yards in a game.
You know, it's interesting, too, Tommy. When you take a look at these playoff games, quarterbacks become focal points. For example, a quarterback takes 2 postures in the playoffs. He can go out and win a game, but he also can play not to lose the game. I think in the case of the Vikings with Rippon, for example, he went out, he had to play well so that the Redskins could win. In the case of the Chargers, Humphries had to go out with a great running attack and a great defense. Just go out and don't lose the football game. Don't make the big mistake that hurts the team, and that's exactly what he did, Chris.
You know, the first couple of series for Kansas City on offense, Joe and Tommy, they ran the play action, and Kansas City didn't get any points out of it, but they looked good moving the ball. But after they settled in and nobody scored any points, it looked like the Chargers, you could feel them. Any playoff jitters they had at the start, the longer they hung in, the more lethal they became. Now it's they that are moving on next week. So now we know the AFC playoff picture for next week. And the San Diego Chargers move on in a Sunday game at Miami. That means whoever comes out of the Bills-Oilers game tomorrow will be at Pittsburgh on Saturday. Now, oh, by the way, San Diego-Miami happens to be 11 years later, perhaps we remember one of the greatest games ever played in the NFL, 41-38 overtime. Benershka's field goal wins it for the Chargers. Of course, that was at the Orange Bowl. And, oh, by the way, Joe, Bill Arnsparger against Don Shula. You think they know a little bit about each other?
I think they not only know one another, but I also think Bill Arnsparger has a little bit of idea what Dan Marino might do. But when I focus on this football game, you got to figure the wide receivers are going to be taken out by the cornerbacks and the safeties of the San Diego Chargers. The guy that's really going to jump up is going to be Bobby Humphries. I think he's going to be the key for the Dolphins. They got to get him the ball somehow, let him make plays.
And I think that might happen in the passing game. This team with Higgs out of the game, I think may become to depend on the pass. And then if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to try to get the same kind of pressure on Marino that they got on Craig today.
You know what I think about today? Gil Byrd, 10 years at Charger. His first year was 83. That was the first year they started not making the playoffs. So after 10 years, he finally gets in a playoff game, and the defense pitches a shutout. He'll be a key factor in trying to defend Dan Marino next week. Of course, we won't hear it all about Arnsparger against Shula this week, will we? As we go inside the numbers, including the playoffs, the Chiefs in non-strike games haven't been blank since 1985, October 20th, against the Rams, 16-0. So that tells you what the Chargers did today on the wet field at the very happy Murph. Up next, primetime play.
They did. He's going to run. Center. I think you better kick it. They did. He's going to run it over the right side. 45, 50. Going to break it down to the 40, down to the 30, cutting to the near sideline. 20, pull down at the 18. I could see it from here.
And off on 2nd and 2 up the middle. Big old butt crashing by the 50. Breaks a tackle 45. It's a foot race to the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. He'll be chased into the end zone.